Hey everyone, this is Stacey with Teens in the Driver's Seat. Did you know that car crashes is the #1 killer of teens in America? I bet you did. That's why you're here. So today we're going to talk about one of those risks and why that happens is impaired driving. So a few topics of conversation include what is impaired driving, teens and alcohol, teens and marijuana. We're going to talk about some activities that you can do as a TDS team at your school and in your community. And we're going to put in some resources along the way and then finish up with 4 questions, not graded, that I found that were really interesting, and I think you guys will too. So I'm going to turn off the camera, go to PowerPoint so we can get this going. Okay, here we go. So identifying impaired driving. Impaired driving for teens is identified as any amount of alcohol and or drugs behind the wheel. So for this crash vulnerable, inexperienced population, it's really important that messaging be no use of anything that may impair driving function, including prescription and over-the-counter drugs, which we often forget about. Because there are so many drugs and it's very hard to track in all crashes, this presentation focuses only on alcohol and marijuana, since those two are most commonly used among teens. So teens and alcohol, we've heard it all of our lives, right? Drinking and driving is bad. Plan ahead. Call a friend. The good news is that most teen drivers know this and they do not drive after drinking. The bad news is that teen drivers are 17 times more likely to be involved in a crash if they do drink and drive. They are also less likely to buckle up. There's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to young people and drinking, such as plying a drunk person full of caffeine, or giving them a cold shower, or making them exercise will help them become less drunk. But none of this is true. First, physical cues of intoxication are different for everyone. Where one person may stumble, another may only get quiet and mellow. Neither of these cases should drive. Only time will allow alcohol to be absorbed and then cleaned out of your system. So for instance, say a 160-pound male drinks 5 drinks in 1 hour. It would take him roughly 9.5 hours to get rid of all the alcohol in his system. There's no shortcuts around this whatsoever. On top of that, once a person starts drinking, their judgment is impaired. So asking a person if they're okay to drive after they've started drinking is pretty pointless. If they've been drinking, they should not drive. Additionally, driving after drinking any amount is illegal for anyone under 21, and that is in all states. In certain circumstances, parents can also be held liable if their child is drinking then in a crash. So DUIs, DWIs, they're expensive, they're time consuming, and they can absolutely derail futures. It just really is not worth it. So the effects of marijuana in teens. So what is interesting on this slide, on that top left-hand statement, in between alcohol and marijuana, there used to be a comma. But a 2019 National Institute on Drug Abuse research report found that those two are now used about the same amount by 12th graders. So in some areas, marijuana has actually surpassed alcohol use, but nationally, marijuana and alcohol use is about the same. We hear a lot about marijuana, and we can see the culture changing regarding its use. Perceived risks by teens has fallen dramatically since 2004, along with disapproval. So right now, disapproval of regular use of marijuana is at 63% among 12th graders. The fact remains that marijuana is a drug and it does impair judgment, motor coordination, and reaction time, all very important to any driver on the road, but especially to an inexperienced teen driver. It is the most common drug found in fatally injured drivers. So let's talk about some outreach. So here's some ideas that can help with that in your school and community. There's a lot of opportunities to talk about impaired driving, including celebration time, so holidays, spring break, prom, graduation. Talking to someone is great, but really makes a message stick is for the learner to be able to apply it to their own behaviors through discussion, practice, and ensuring understanding by asking them to teach someone else. Be inclusive and don't put people on the defensive. It's always great to seek to find solutions together. You can search for conducting meaningful activities on t-driver.com for more information. We also have lots of activity ideas and resources on the site. So here's those 4 questions I was talking about. We did not cover these specific numbers, but we did touch on the issue. So don't feel bad if you don't know these, but pay attention. I think you'll get it, and you'll find these really interesting. So you'll get the pattern here. So answers are going to be on the next slide. NIDA's national survey, what percentage of 12th graders used alcohol in the past 30 days? So there's your options there. What do you think the answer is? So here we go. So 29%. What's important to remember is 12th graders drink more than other grade levels, but still the majority say they did not in the past 30 days. So most high school seniors are not drinking. So another national survey, CDC 2017, what percentage of students who drove in the previous 30 days had driven 1 or more times when they had been drinking alcohol? So again, there's your answers. What do you think it is? So the answer is 5.5%. Most teen drivers know they shouldn't be drinking and driving, and that's a good thing. But think about what you can do in your area to get this number down to 0. So next question, going back to that NIDA national survey and talking about marijuana instead of alcohol, again, 12th grade students used marijuana in the past 30 days. Same answers up there. What do you think the answer is? If you guessed 29%, you're right. Remember, we talked about alcohol and marijuana being about the same for 12th grade students. Next question, back to that CDC national survey. What percentage of students who drove in the past 30 days had driven 1 or more times when they had been using marijuana? So again, same answers. Same answers, but thinking about marijuana. So the answer is 13%. Alcohol and marijuana use is the same at 29%, but marijuana use behind the wheel is much higher at 13% compared to that 5.5% with alcohol. This may mean that teens feel more comfortable driving after smoking marijuana, and the general perception is that it's safer, but this is definitely an area of concern and opportunity for messaging and discussion in schools and communities. So again, think about how you can approach this issue at your school. As a reminder, Teens in the Driver's Seat is a peer-to-peer safe driving program available at no cost to schools. Check our website and see where we offer the program and how to get started. The program covers distractions, nighttime drowsy driving, speeding, seatbelt use, and of course, impaired driving. So all schools get a free kit, they get t-shirts, banners, that sort of thing. And what we want you to do is the outreach. So as a follow-up to this presentation, we encourage teens to talk to their friends about the risks of impaired driving and plan ways to avoid it. Planning in advance is always best. Help keep each other safe by holding each other accountable. Also, talk to your parents and trusted adults. Have an out if you get into a situation where you need their help. Impaired driving is totally preventable, but it takes all of us to stop these crashes. So again, thanks for tuning in. Stacey Tisdale once again, and I'm tuning out. So check you guys later.